everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. This is my crafty home and I'm doing a thrift flip today. So in my stash, things that I've thrifted because I wanted to make them over, I had a pair of these shutters. Now I bought these at a secondhand shop for I think $10 last summer, I believe. And I have taken the first set, so there's two sets of these doors, but I've taken the first set apart and kind of started this already, and I'm working on, let me turn this way, I'm working on the second set. So I'm taking all the hardware off to start with, just like this. So I'm keeping all of these hardware pieces and putting them into my stash because you can never have too many hinges. And I'm going to set one of these aside because one of these small ones is going to be another project. So I'm just going to set that aside and I'm not going to worry about it right now. And then this one, I'm going to prep the same way I did these two. I want to take this off because I want to mount these on the wall. If I mount them on the wall with that piece on there, they're not going to lay flat. They're going to rock back and forth, and it's going to be hard to get them adjusted. So I decided it would just be easier. Yes, I got it the right way. It would just be easier to take this off. This is stapled on here. So it was a little harder than what I thought it was going to be to get the other one off. But I figured out that if I can switch my screwdriver, I've got an old bent screwdriver here. And if I can get that underneath, then I can just put it there and then pry up. And that took it off. And let me grab a pair of pliers to take that last staple out of there. So I got staples everywhere. So there's one here that I need to take off. I'm just going to pull it straight out. Like that. And there's one more here as well that I need to take out. And then to make sure that this is going the same way as the other two, because I want the slats to go down on these, I'm going to make sure that I've got it the same way up so that I've got my smaller and larger pieces at the right ends. And then put this down. I got to get it all flipped, because I want them all going the same way, like that. Yeah, then I'm just going to take my glue gun, and I'm just going to put a dab of hot glue in here to hold these straight. So I'm just going to put my little glue gun stand right there. So I'm just going to put my glue gun stand on my counter here. Plug it in. And I'm going to start, I'm just going to start this way. I'm going to start by taking this one and putting the tiniest little bit of hot glue right there. And then sticking that down like that. Because each one has to be stuck down to the one above it. And I'm doing this before I paint because if any glue leaks out or gets anywhere I don't want it to be, then I can just paint over it. Okay, so this is the back, and because I don't care if the hot glue shows here, now that I've got them stuck down a little bit, I'm just putting a bead of hot glue across the back here. I just want to turn it over and make sure that I've got no hot glue running out this side because I don't want any showing on this side. So I have no holes on this one that need to be filled. But on this one and this one, I have to fill these holes where the latches were and where the handles were. So I'm just going to use a little bit of spackling and just put it on with my finger. I'm just going to fill those holes. And then I'm going to let them dry. I started this project a month ago today. So this is the first DIY that I've done since my sister passed. I actually started this the day before, and the next I left it overnight to let this dry, and fully intended to come back the next morning, but got a phone call in the wee hours of the morning saying that I had to come back to Ontario. So that's what I did. I took off for the week. I was gone for the full week. I haven't felt much like doing any DIYs since I got back. So I'm going to finish this now. So I've taken these and sanded them off. These are all ready to paint. I've given them a good wipe down. And I have some chalk paint here. And this is two different colors mixed together. This is Bluestone House French Country Vintage Chalky Patina Furniture Paint. And I didn't have enough of this to do what I want to do because I've got another piece that I want to match. So I actually took this and I had some linen colored chalk paint. I filled this back up. There was about this much blue. I filled it back up with the linen, mixed it all together, and came up with this really pretty, it's just a very light greenish blue color. It turned out really pretty. I mean, for trying to use up some paint and mixing these together, I think it turned out, like, look at that. Oh gosh, guys. Yeah, it's gonna be really pretty. So I'm just gonna get to painting this. And I'm gonna get 2 coats of paint on all 3 of these. And once it's dry, I'm gonna come back and show you what else I'm going to do to them. So this is actually a really great way to repurpose shutters. You can use shutters for so many different things. I pick them up whenever I see them. And this little set, there's actually 4 panels on this little set, but I'm keeping 1 panel because I've got another DIY to do in this same color of paint. and a little shelf that I want to paint to match as well. So now that I've got this color mixed up, I'm really hoping I can get all 3 of my items done in the same color. So this would be a lot easier with a sprayer, but I don't mind doing it by hand, and I don't paint so much that I need a sprayer. It's not something that I want to invest in. I mean, for the few projects that I do, I can paint by hand. Like, that's not a problem. So anyway, I'm going to get these painted, and I'll be back to show you the result when this is dry. Okay, so I've got these painted and they look really great. So I am going to put my hooks on here because these are going to hold mugs. And I bought this package and it's got 24 of these hooks like this. And I got them off of Amazon. They were way cheaper buying them that way than going to the hardware store. So I'm going to go ahead and install the hardware on these, all these cup hooks, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have these painted and I have my hooks on here. I have room to hold 18 mugs. This is going to look really fabulous. I probably won't put mugs on every single cup hook, but I might. It depends. I have quite a few Rae Dunn mugs, but I've got other mugs as well that I like. You know how it is. Like, you just see something cute and you have to buy it. So I have 3 of these shutters and they're all done. So let's set these aside. And the next part of this project, the makeover, is this. This is a thrifted piece as well. I thrifted this in Ontario many years ago, and I've been using it for my mug holder all along. I have had this above my coffee bar for years. It's been in this blue color. It's banged up. It's damaged. It needs a makeover as well. Now, this is the bottom, and I had 6 hooks along here, and that's where I hung 6 Rae Dunn mugs. And they've been there for a long time. I switched them out with the holidays, but that meant that I have to have most of my mug collection put away. But what I've done here is I plan on putting this above the shutters that I just did. So I have filled in and sanded all of these little holes where the mugs were, and I'm giving this a coat of paint to match the shutters. I'm going to hang it all up, and it's going to look like it goes together. Now, the thing that I loved about this when I thrifted it is that both the shelves have this little groove here for a plate rail. And I think that's fabulous because that means that if you've got something cutesy, a plate with a saying on it, or something that is specific to how you're decorating, you can put this up here. But you don't have to put plates on here. You can put all kinds of other things as well. So I'm going to get busy and give this a coat of paint. Now, I purposely didn't fill, I don't even know if you can see them, but there's a little hole here on each side of this bottom rail, and I had a little hook on there. I'm going to put those hooks back. So I didn't fill these in. I also didn't fill in these holes. There's 2 here on the top on this little lip that goes down, and 2 on the bottom, because that's how you attach this to the wall. So I'm going to give this a coat of paint. So here is the reveal. Everything's painted, dried, hung on the wall. I am so happy with the way this turned out. So this is the top of my ceiling, and then coming down I have my shelf. This shelf has that little plate rail in there so that if I do want to put some plates up for different holidays, I can. Right now it's got a tiny bit of spring decor on there, and my Canada Day travel mug that I always use. That was a Christmas gift. And the shutters go right below it. So the thing about these shutters is they're 8 inches wide, which made a perfect spacing when I put the cup hooks on and I spaced those 6 inches apart. It made the 3 shutters a total of 36 inches wide. That's the exact width of my shelf. So yeah, these were made to go together. I'm so glad that they're all painted the same color now, and they're right over top of my buffet. My buffet is where I am going to put my coffee bar. I've taken everything off of there, all the spring decor off, given it a good clean, put a clean runner on there. That's the cup I'm drinking out of right now. I've got my tea in there. I only have 2 black Raydon mugs, and I use them both for tea because the tea stains don't show. Yeah, so I'm in love with this, guys. Absolutely in love with this. It's amazing what you can do with a $10 shelf, a couple of really cheap shutters, a little bit of paint, and some hooks. My gosh, yeah, I didn't think I was going to have room for all this stuff in my kitchen. I have a tiny kitchen. There's not enough cupboard space for me to put this many mugs. I had to get rid of a ton of mugs when I moved here. I didn't want to get rid of them all, but I'm so happy with how many I can put out now. Before this, I could only put 6 mugs out. I could fit 6 mugs across the bottom of the shelf. So yeah, I'm so happy with this. So let me know what you think of this one in the comments. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of this. I just think it turned out so perfectly. And if you want to give this a thumbs up, that would be great. You could let YouTube know that you're watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that before you leave so you can come back and become part of my YouTube family. And I'll see everybody in the next one. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a great week.